One of the biggest experiments here on Hummingbird Hill has to do with how to murder weeds. Hi, I'm Amy. Welcome back to Hummingbird Hill, and as you can see, we're actually on the hill part today, not over in the garden, which is over that way. And oh my gosh, the clouds are gorgeous. Hold on, I'm gonna swing you around. Can you see that? Look at that. Just beautiful. The weather has been glorious today. Cold and windy, of course, because apparently the forecast this year calls for wind with a side of wind and then a couple fronts of wind coming through. That is what I've been dealing with. So hopefully you can hear today and it's not quite so like I'm talking in a wind tunnel. In any case, I've been talking or alluding to this hill since my first video, and I thought it was about time to come out here and share with you just a quick little tour of what's going on the hill. So as the summer progresses, we can check back in and see how these methods of weed suppression are going. I have a cat who's tickling my leg. Hold on a second. Tater, where'd you go? Really, Tater? Really? You see that? That thing. Anyway, as I said, I just want to give you a quick tour of the hill and what is going on over here. So as summer goes on, we can check back in, look at what methods are working, what's not working, adjust things, because that is a part of trying things out that's the most fun, is figuring out what works and what doesn't, and then making things better. So I'm going to start here at this end with, as you can see, the ever so lovely use of black plastic. I started the black plastic tarp here, and I can't tell, there we go, and it goes all the way up there, last June-ish. May have been May, actually. May, probably. Because we had some black plastic tarp lying around, and my research had said that using black plastic as mulch is a great way to suppress weeds. I'd also done the research that with the weeds that I have, such as thistle, blackberry, some big, tall, pokey, scary looking things, I don't know what they're called, and I forgot to take a picture last year, that those things can take upwards of a year to smother out, sometimes two. So this black plastic tarp has been in place. There are some blackberries, raspberries, and some fruit trees planted in throughout. It's looking really ratty right now. It needs readjusted because winter was winter, and so it moved things around. It's been very harsh weather. Well, not very harsh, but for our area, it's been pretty tough weather. Lots of wind, lots and lots of wind. So this area needs cleaned up. And part of the reasons that I want to show you this tour now is because the main goal for the rest of this weekend is to get things straightened up and tidy so that we're more ready for spring, because I'm going to start planting some seeds in the garden next week. I would have done it this weekend, except it's supposed to be down to 28 again at night. So I figured I'd give the poor little seeds just a little bit warmer temperature before I really started them. So black plastic mulch here. I've got some blueberries, so you can see a lovely bit of blackberry vine. I don't know if you can see that I didn't plant, but that I want there. Some stumps that have some perennials that need cleaned out so the perennials can really grow, and some lovely boxes that I used as mini raised beds, because why not? Just planted them right over the weeds. Gave the plants a chance to establish. It worked fairly well. It looks really gross right now, so I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna do with those, but it did help those plants combat the weeds that were in those spots last year. So coming back along here, one of the reasons I use cardboard in the garden is because I use some cardboard on the hill. That got through. As you can tell, the cardboard, just put it down. There's a couple pieces around here. If I lift this up, there's pretty much nothing under it, and it's now so wet and squishy I could plant right in it if I wanted to. So it has definitely helped suppress the weeds. It is not ideal as far as looks go, but it worked. Now the reason I have black plastic and cardboard, and I'm going to take you to show you the other thing that I'm using on the hill right now, is because last year when I was really looking at what to do with this hill, there wasn't a lot that I could afford. So buying mulch, buying wood chip to cover this hill would have been insanely expensive, at least for me and my budget with what's going on in life right now. And the reason this hill needs covered is because there was a stand of trees here when the parents bought the place. That's a long story, still haven't told you that one. But when I bought the place, these trees were starting to get rotten. There were some places where branches were falling, big branches, and the hill is right here and right there. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. is the house. And so with 30-foot tall trees that were gonna downhill fall onto the house, that wasn't a risk I was willing to take. So we had to make the tough decision to cut those trees down. However, once we cut them down, we just kind of left the ground. We didn't do anything with it. And at the time, I didn't really realize quite how much nature likes a vacuum, because I would have done something right away. But I didn't. I went off to China and I came back, and that was right around the time Mom was really hankering for some more flowers. So I came out here last spring, because people had tried the year before and nothing had happened. There weren't flowers didn't grow, the weeds got super tall, we had to weed whack a lot. We had to weed whack a lot. So last spring I came out, okay, I'm like, I'm gonna fight these weeds, I'm gonna start early, and I dug, and I dug, and I dug up thistle, and I dug up blackberry, and if you know anything about those weeds, you are laughing at me right now, because what you know is that I more than likely did not get up every single tiny little root, and each little root that I did not get up became a new plant. So what I did was make a bigger mess for myself here on the hill. I had more weeds this spring, so that's why I had to resort to the black plastic, the cardboard, and then the other thing that I have done on this end of the hill. So let's go down here, without tripping over the stumps or whatever I have in the way. As you can see, I have not cleaned up. I'm just gonna let you see what's out here. The weather's been crazy, so I have buckets blown all over. I have potting things that were over by the shed that have blown onto the hill. The chickens have helped rearrange as well, so there's a lot to clean up. So right back here, you can see the mulch that I'm most excited about having on the hill and what I've seen it doing so far since I put it down in the fall. Over the summer, this end of the garden without, well, it's a hill, but it's the fruit garden. This end of the hill without the black plastic, the weeds were insane. We weed whacked a lot. My dad murdered this poor grapevine at least 3 times, and then I moved it to where it is now. I don't know if it'll survive this year, but I'm gonna try it. But I was looking for options. Wood chips would have been ideal. I saw, all this stuff about Back to Eden. I did some research on it. There's lots of mixed information, and people are saying, well, not really good in the garden, but they're good around fruit trees as long as you're not trying to dig them into the soil. They stay on top and then they break down, etc. So like, well, wood chips if I can find them. I was driving down the road one day and I saw this truck that said, want wood chips? Go to www.chipdrop.com or something. I'm like, sure, right, free wood chips, we'll see. But I was like, I kept looking, couldn't find anything on Craigslist. Finally, I put my information in there, but I waited until too late in the fall. I still haven't gotten any wood chips. I'm hoping maybe this spring. But I needed to do something with this because I did not want to leave it all winter to continue getting worse and worse. So I was researching online more about suppression of weeds, organic methods. I don't want to spray. The chickens spend all their time on this hill. I mean, that's part of the problem with having free-range chickens is they go everywhere, and I don't like using chemical weed killer of any sort anywhere, for so many reasons. In any case, I needed to find a solution that I could afford. Straw bales were going to be way too expensive because I read about straw, and then I looked up, well, if I don't have straw, can I use hay? And lots of people are arguing that hay has grass seeds in it. You're going to get grasses wherever you use a hay bale. We're like, well, grass is going to be better than thistle, so I'll take that. And as it happened, a neighbor had someone who was supposed to get some hay from them a couple years ago. The person never showed up, so they put the hay in our lower barn. And I asked the neighbor, I was like, what do we want to do with the hay? It's just sitting in the barn, and it's been there for a couple years. And the neighbor says, well, I don't know, use it, burn it, do whatever you want to do. Whatever I want to do. And what I wanted to do was lug 50, 60, I don't know how many bales there were, out here to the hill and use that as my mulch. So let's take a little look at what the hay is doing here on the hill, aside from the chicken decoration. So right now, coming here from our pear tree, over, there's an apple, some others. I just planted a new plum, but all the way over to the fence line is all hay. And so far it is working beautifully. Okay, except for the part where the chickens have taken it. This is where the hay bales ended, and the chickens have taken and spread it all out through the yard. that's part of the cleanup I need to get done. But right here, come here. I don't know if you can see these. Right here, you can see there's a line of bulbs. It's actually kind of a curve and it goes in an S. And these are all coming up through the hay, which I am so excited about. I was afraid that they wouldn't come up, that the hay would totally smother them, that the chickens would murder them. But there are also more bulbs planted out on the hill, as well as other plants. The other plants I think the chickens may have murdered, but they're perennials, so who knows what's going on under the ground. One of the things I need to do is go get my little map of where I planted things and come out and dig the hay around that the chickens have spread out so that the plants have a chance. So let me step over this little line of bulbs here so I don't squish them. Ooh, look, it's coming back. Something's coming back there. I planted some. Oh, hi, you're probably looking at my hair right now. Let's just fix that. Something here. There's more plants in this area. I'm gonna try not to murder them by stepping on them with my big old feet. Oops, squishy. Got a couple of poor little palm trees that have been here since I moved in that are not doing well. There's some acanthus, which is the most gorgeous thing in the world, and I hope they grow. I think I got like 7 of them at the local nursery. Some grasses, there's some other plants in here. This is a Satsuma plum, and one of my friends at a local farm brought some over last summer, fall, whenever I ate them, and they were so good. So I had to get one of my own. That's one of the things that I got at the farm store, which is why you should never let me loose at the farm store in the spring, because then I buy the things. So lots of hay. Oh, look. Little gopher snake hole over there, something. Stump from a tree that fell down before we got out here. Some Russian sage, which I hope will get big and take up this whole area, except it's slightly too close to that plant. I may have to move it because, look, oh, look, look, look. Look, I think these are budding out. Oh, but what? So do you see this? This is a hydrangea, an oak leaf hydrangea I just planted last year in the fall. And I think these are new buds, and it's gonna be gorgeous, except I don't know what this white stuff on it is. And obviously there was hay all around it. As you can see, the chickens have spread that out. But what I notice if I come down here and pull, that one didn't come out too well, is I was up here pulling some others just a few days ago before these were out. And they just came out super easy by the root. So that's a benefit of the hay so far. I hope nothing's wrong with that plant. I don't know what the white stuff is, but I'm super excited to see the leaves. Yay, it's coming back. Okay, note to self, I have the Saturday hair on, but it's a different Saturday hair because I didn't feel like doing the little things up on the top because, you know, you don't want to wear the same hair every Saturday. But that Saturday hair is much better for the wind than this Saturday hair. Just saying. Note to self. Coming over here, I have, this is a really pretty purple plant. What's it called again? Oh no, this is the dogwood. This is a cream de menthe dogwood. Let's see. And I left the tag on so I can remember, because I always forget to write things down, especially when I'm planting them in the middle of the fall rain and I don't feel like writing. I should behave myself, but you know, I'll get there someday. This is Honeycrisp apple tree, super delicious. Let's see, lots more hay, lots more hay. There's a purple plant I got at a local nursery down there. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm sure it's gonna be beautiful. And the tag's on it, so when I want to walk down the hill when it's not quite so wet and squishy, I will walk down there. I'm a little afraid of doing it with the camera in my hand because I think I'll fall over. Ooh, another thing to note is if you are digging up a bunch of weeds on a hill using a grub hoe, do not face downhill whilst digging unless you're really good at somersaults. Just saying. It's a good thing I'm good at somersaults. This is really steep, as you can see up here, so I'm gonna come up to here. I ran out of hay, so I couldn't come all the way up to this fence. This is a dog run that was here when we moved in. We don't really use it except when we're working outside and the dogs want to come out together. Basil Belle can be out by herself, but Peanut the pocket pug is a little too small, and there are coyotes and hawks that think she is a tasty morsel, or a potentially tasty morsel. So, plus her recall is terrible because she's still a puppy. grasses. And there are more bulbs down in here, and one of the things I have to come out and do is dig back the hay because oh, I think that over there is a spot, and I see a little bulb coming up. The chickens have moved the hay around, so I think they've covered up some of the bulbs a little too thickly. Like I had a thin layer of mulch over them, but I think they're going to struggle through some of the thicker mulch that the chickens have helped redistribute. Hi, Tater Tot. Yes, I see you. Okay, please don't knock me over on the hill. That would be not nice. This part's super steep. So as you can see, the black plastic tarp needs moved around. There are some new raspberry canes that I put in there. My blackberry vines are there. This is a poor cherry tree, and I'm not getting closer to it right now. One, because I'm getting freezing because of the wind, but two, because the hill is not so good with the black plastic walking with the camera. So I don't know if you can see that. Hi, Tater. But right there, this poor cherry tree got what I think was rust last year. And there was one branch that got turned orangish, and I didn't cut it off in time, and then it got the rest of the tree. So I just ended up cutting off a whole bunch of branches, and this nice little shoot just came up, and it has buds all over it, but I'm pretty sure I just need to pull the whole tree and try again. But I'm gonna give that one a try this year, just in case. I do not know a lot about fruit trees. We've always had them, but there's nothing more that we've done but put them in the ground and let the stuff grow or not grow. So maintaining fruit trees is something that I'm really reading up on and studying. I need to do some dormant oil spray, but it's been way too cold to do that since I learned that I should do that. Thanks, garden answer, by the way, Laura, over there. So I'm gonna try some, I have some organic dormant oil that I need to do at least in March. It says not to do it when it's under 40, so I figure it's getting close now. I may be able to do it this week, but if not, the week after. Should have done it twice in the winter, it says, but we'll see. Once is better than nothing. Some more raspberries. Oh, those are actually loganberries. Delicious. Not raspberries. Coming back here. So you can see this is the steep part, so I'm holding on because it's so slippery and squishy. And then here is where I ran out of both kinds of mulch. So you can see this is the kind of grass that we have growing, and I don't mind the grass as much. I mean, it's grass, it's better than weeds, but in the late summer this grass gives way to thistle, etc. This is also a place where there's a large strawberry patch here that is grass right now. Ooh, look, a bulb. So I planted some bulbs up here. I got one of those little bulb drills and I was like, those are just silly, but okay, as I was saying, there's a bulb. Sorry, I just had to delete 502 videos because apparently the phone doesn't like it when you have that many videos on it. In any case, this is just one of the spare bulbs I had when I planted bulbs in the places we had planned on planting bulbs, and I thought I'd see what happened on the hill. It is coming up, but it looks super weak, and it also looks like the chickens have been helping it by eating it, little rascals. Ooh, but there's some more down there. Let me show you here. Actually, there's also strawberries that grow in this area. There's some little wild alpine strawberries that I put in a few years ago that have been doing pretty well battling the weeds. But they're not the best tasting strawberries. So, look at that sky, it's gorgeous. I forgot to turn you around so you can see. There we go. As I was saying about the strawberries, they're not the best tasting strawberries in the whole world. So, and you would think the chickens would eat them because they're right out here where they can easily get them, but no, they go down to my strawberry stump and steal my strawberries, rascals. Here are these other bulbs, and like I said, I just got a drill, an attachment for my drill that's for bulbs, and I thought, oh, I don't know if that's really gonna work. I can just dig something. But when the mom bought like 300 bulbs, digging 300 holes, it was really nice to have that little drill attachment, and it worked super well. So like I said, I just plopped some in the grass here, and these again look a little weak, and it looks like, gosh, I only put one bulb in each of these spots, but there's so many like leaves coming up. But the chickens have definitely been up here rooting around. This is also one of the reasons why I decided to try the cardboard in the end. I told you I used some cardboard down there, but I ran out of black plastic mulch and this area was super bad. So I just threw a couple boxes down, and this area, as you can see, has no grass growing up on it. Now it is ripe for me to just plant straight through it right now, and I need to do that before the grasses reestablish themselves on top of the cardboard. But that was pretty exciting to see. Here is the grapevine. Oh, don't let me step on my little bulbs. This is a new grapevine that I put in last year. I don't know if you can see that. Here we go. There it is. And right now I have it set up to be a 2-cordon system, so 1 vine going out to each side to establish points of growth, so spurs for things to come off. But I think I want to add another wire or rope down here and make this a 4-cordon system so I get more points where the grapes can grow. And as you can see, there's lots of nice little healthy buds on this one. Actually, I should go check that one over there, because that poor grapevine over there, Dad weed-whacked it like 4 times during last summer, and then I replanted it at the end of the summer when it was starting to actually get comfortable finally. So I don't know if it's actually going to grow. I should go look at that. I'll see about that. Oh, this is another plum tree, I think. That one's a plum. It might be an Italian prune, is I think the kind that is, and that's a kind that I had when I was a little girl, and I used to go pick them and sit on the roof of the garage and eat them and read books. So I think Mom planted that one because it was the kind we had in our old house, where I grew up in Felony Flats. So many different mulching methods are being tried on this hill, and so far I'm really excited with how things look. This is looking great as far as I'm concerned. That end, can't see any grasses right now coming up. The black plastic mulch obviously looks terrible, but it's suppressing the weeds, and the cardboard here is breaking down and ready to plant in. So far the experiment is going well, but I wanted to give you an update right now so that throughout the summer we can come back out here and see how things are going. Again, if you have any great ideas for weed suppression, let me know, because the more information I have, the better, and I'm totally open to trying new things that do not involve chemical weed killers. So, thank you so much for joining me on this little tour around my weedy hill, and I hope that you enjoyed this afternoon. What are you going to be working on this week in your garden? Coming up next for me is cleanup, and then I am starting seeds out in the garden, and I actually would have started them today, except it's supposed to get down to 28 again tonight and tomorrow. And I could totally put the peas in and some of the other greens that I want to plant, but I thought I'd just focus on the cleanup before I got ahead of myself, because the planting is the fun part, the cleanup, not so much. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment down below, let me know what you're thinking, and I hope that you will come back and join me again so that we can do some more growing, or in this case, weeding, together.